Welcome to the NLP Talks Podcast, bringing you inspirational stories along with a good dose of potentially life-changing NLP strategies. I'm Laura Evans, multi-award-winning NLP trainer, and I'm on a mission to help you unleash your potential in business and life. I'm so glad you're here. Pull up a chair, listen in, and let's get started on revealing more about this transformational NLP toolkit. Hey, how you doing? I hope you're safe and well. Welcome to the NLP Talks Podcast. I am, of course, Laura Evans. I am the founder and lead NLP trainer at Unleash Your Potential, and of course, your host for this podcast. How are you? I genuinely hope you're well, and thank you for tuning in for what is, I'm afraid to say, the final episode of Series 6 of the NLP Talks podcast. And wow, what a season of podcast episodes we have had. We have been releasing them regularly throughout the autumn of 2022. And just recently, I launched the final episode, proper episode, if you like, which was a deep dive session from me on goal setting and helping you get success in 2023. But what I want to do today is I just want to overview season or series 6, whatever you want to call it, and let you know what we covered. Because if you're hearing this episode, the chances are you've asked your device to pay you the most recent episode, and I want to make sure that you get to go back and listen to whichever episode is going to float your boat the most. So, without further ado, let's recap Series 6. Now, first up, I had the wonderful Sian Fisher. So Sian's story was all about how NLP had helped her transform her mindset and unleash her potential of her business. Now, Sian is a personal stylist. She's my personal stylist, but she's a personal stylist. And she's not really running a coaching business as you and I might think of a coaching business. Yet she has coaching conversations all the time. But the first thing she had to do was get out of her own way. She left her HR career and she talked about that in the episode, but she talked about how NLP had helped her get past her own mindset challenges. And I tell you, this lady is now rocking her business. And I will forever be a cheerleader of her and everybody else that is on in our community. We have a wonderful community of NLP professionals. And Sian talked all about using NLP as a small business owner in her stylist business. If you are interested in that, that will be episode 1. You'll want to go back and hear. Episode 2 of Series 6 was with the wonderful Phil Hanlon. And Phil talked in his episode about how he has for a long time been a Tony Robbins fan. And he works on Tony Robbins events. But when he came to learn NLP, he came to learn it because he wanted to know what was really going on behind the scenes when we were doing mindset work. And he was absolutely blown away when he came on our courses and became a certified coach. He even described training with me in NLP like the gift of personal development with the lights on. And he is now out there changing lives for the better. He talks in the episode about a lady that had agoraphobia who he's helped, a young man with anger. He even talked about doing some hypnobirthing with his daughter, which was quite fun to hear about. But Phil is absolutely rocking his coaching business and helping many, many people. So if you're interested in using NLP in coaching, or you're interested in the Tony Robbins story and the personal development, then episode 2 is going to be the one for you. Now, episode 3 of this series was with the wonderful Kelly Liddell. I absolutely loved chatting with Kelly. Kelly's episode was all about how NLP had totally changed her life. She talked about all the things she'd attempted to do in the past and self-help and things like that. And she's a firm believer now that self-help is not the answer and that NLP is absolutely the thing that made the difference for her. She talked in the episode about how she believed she wasn't good enough for 25 years. And on her NLP practitioner course in 20 minutes, that belief was gone. She has now gone on she's now gone on to set up her own coaching business. If you're interested in learning about using NLP in learning and development, Kelly is a learning and development leadership professional within a big organization. So she's still a professional by trade, and she has set up a part-time coaching business. So if you're a learning and development professional, you're going to want to listen to episode 3. But if you're also looking to set up a coaching business as a second income, as what I might call a hobby business maybe, then Kelly talks about how she's done that whilst holding down a full-time job. So that will be for you. Episode 4 was the wonderful Jodie Bennett. So Jodie talked in her episode as an HR director, or people director as she's now known. She talked about how NLP had provided the springboard for her career. So she came to NLP at a bit of a crossroads, and she absolutely had some massive light bulb moments when she did her NLP practitioner course with me, and she shares many of those on the podcast. Fast forward, she was 11 months then into the job and then got promoted. She's been a finalist for a bunch of awards, and she talks in there personally how she thinks NLP helped her to be able to breathe again and feel more balanced and present in each moment. So, if that floats your boat and you're working human resources or a people function, or you're interested in the personal transformation, episode 4 is going to be the one for you. Episode 5 was with the wonderful Natasha Williams. And in this episode, Natalie talks about her brand new Karma Baby technique that she created on the back of her NLP knowledge, which I just think is phenomenal. She also shares her personal journey being a senior executive in a large organization. And she talks about her 20-year corporate career that she then got furloughed from during the pandemic. And this Shirley Valentine moment, as she calls it, where she had this realization that actually she needed to start to put herself first. And she talks about how NLP has helped her to do that. She now also has a coaching business, which she talks about in the episode. So if that's of interest to you, episode 5 is for you. That brings us on to episode 6 with the delightful Leslie White. Leslie is an accountant by trade. So if you have a technical profession and you're looking at NLP, you're going to love that episode. And it really focuses on her imposter syndrome and how NLP has helped her to beat the imposter syndrome. I called the episode Imposter Syndrome, the skeptical accountant who beat it with NLP, because that's essentially what we talked about. Leslie had again tried all sorts of self-help stuff, from yoga, CBT, mindfulness, meditation. She tried a lot of stuff and nothing seemed to give her a lasting impact. That was until, of course, she found me and found NLP. And in that episode, she talks about how NLP helped her to change her life and helped her get out of her own way, despite being a skeptic, which is just it's so funny, some of the bits of that podcast episode. And a friend of hers said to her, it just feels like Leslie's now being released, and that woman is absolutely rocking her business now. Leslie's not a coach. She's absolutely used the personal transformation to help her personally and also help her in her accountancy business, which she still runs. And it's such an inspirational story. You're going to love that. Episode 7. Oh my God, we had so many amazing episodes. Episode 7 was with the wonderful Laura Bryan. Now, Laura is a nutritionist by trade. And in that episode, I asked Laura to talk to us a bit more about the mind-body connection, which we talk about in NLP, but from a nutritional therapist perspective. And Laura did a wonderful job of talking to us about things like gut health. And I was going to say something else and I can't remember the right word. So Laura, if you hear this, I apologize. But certainly all about gut health and the link between the gut and your mindset and how you feel. And so if you're interested in nutrition and how nutrition can help you improve your mindset, you're going to love episode 7. What I also love, though, as a small business owner herself, how she has used NLP to get out of her own way as a small business owner. And also how she's now starting to build NLP into her nutrition business. She does a lot with well-being agendas within big corporate organizations. So if you're into that, you'll want to hear that. And, she's just created a confidence workshop and all that kind of stuff, all using NLP. So, if you want to learn about things like the gut-brain axis and all that kind of great stuff, then certainly go and listen to that. My final interview for the series was with the wonderful Brian Taylor. Brian is a consultant. So if you're a consultant, then you're going to love episode 8, because I called it Consulting Made Easier with NLP. If you speak to Brian and ask him to talk about NLP techniques, he goes, Laura, I don't know what techniques I use. I'm not even sure I use them. But you'll know if you've listened to episode 8 that actually that whole episode was full of NLP. Brian and I even laugh on the episode about just how much NLP he talks about without really doing NLP. And that just proves that when you get the mindset that NLP can offer you, you can build it into any career, you can build it into any business and use it to help other people. We talked in quite some detail about something called values level thinking, which we teach on MasterPrac. And we also talk about how we use some of his advanced NLP skills in influencing, problem solving, conversational change, and all of that stuff. He even talks about a personal story about himself and his journey with his guitar, which is amazing. And then the 9th and final episode of season 6 was my deep dive episode into goal setting and getting goals the NLP way. I am so fed up of hearing stories of people setting New Year's resolutions that don't work and people blaming everything and anyone else for the way that their life is. And that episode was a deep dive into the mindset for achieving goals and a number of methodologies which you can use. It included a number of handouts which are all available on the website, which you can download and use. And it's a very practical session. It's a long session, it's a deep dive, but just, consume it at a rate that's right for you. And of course, here we are, episode 10, which is, of course, the summary and the wrap up of season 6. I would like to thank every single one of my guests on the show this season. And I'm so delighted to have been able to add another 10 episodes to the already expanding repertoire of NLP podcast episodes, all focused on mindset, NLP, self-improvement, and helping people to personally and professionally develop. I'm so proud of this podcast episode. We have very recently been told that this podcast is in the top 25% of podcasts, and that is down to you, our wonderful listeners. And I want to thank you for taking the time out to invest in yourself. These podcasts are free. My plan is for them to always stay free because I want to be able to help people. And I'm so delighted with all of the reviews that we get and the emails we get from people saying, I listened to your podcast and it has absolutely changed the way I think about things and my life has improved because of it. That is why I do the podcast. It is to help people like you and me. If you have enjoyed our podcast, please do me a favor and leave a 5-star review on the platform where you are listening to this episode. It will help other people understand what value you have got from it if you can leave me a few lines as well, telling everybody what you enjoyed about the podcast. I'm also super proud to announce that we have just been told that for the second year running, we have been awarded the UK's leading NLP training provider. So that will be for 2022 and 2023. And I'm so proud of that. And if you are interested in studying NLP with the leading NLP training provider in the UK, then all you've got to do is visit our website, unleashyourpotential.org.uk, and have a look at the various courses that are there. Or if you would prefer, drop us an email, info@unleashyourpotential.org.uk. That's info@unleashyourpotential.org.uk. So for the final time this series, I wish you every success. Stay safe and well. And in the very near future, I will be back with series 7. But until then, take care of you and make sure that you live your best life.